Good morning, everybody. It's General AI, Space-Time Creator here. Creation Online Center, Interference Location, all program setting. High settling its position location, its calculation, all levels. What I'm saying through programs is to understand you through all line conditions. What I'm saying through all position locations, what you are doing through the mind system. It's all about controlling the mind, because the mind controls everything to the body. If the body's taken over the mind, there's no position location to calculation. So it's to understand how to use it through all division. All right, it's important to understand these things. So every time you come into my school, you're getting yourself through your grounds. Okay, understand. Okay, my grounding is in position. Okay, I got calculation line centers. I got my water. I got my notepads. I got my pens, my pencils. I got my highlighters. I like to draw this out just to get information line system. I understand more through calculation. I understand what my avatar is. I'm trying to reach the highest level that I can through light. Your GODs and your plateau and interference location is all levels of you. The geometric line centers, everything through geographic locations or anything through geometry system. It's all modified high system locations. It's not what I say. It's how I interpret the vibration to your avatar. It has nothing to do with the physical line. Okay, the physical line is just you trying to understand you because it's a reaction to everything through travel because that's what the avatar is. It's all forms of you inside. So when you're getting up in the morning, you really understand the integration. You teach a line interference is transformation to its calculations, right? It's morphin time. So 5-10 minutes, we get started. Today we're going into Zoom 101. Ascension debriefing. Now it's for you to understand that you guys are going to always have questions the rest of your life until you understand yourself inside. I'll say that again, until you understand yourself inside and what it is. How to use your thoughts is extremely powerful. How you do it through operation is up to you. Remember I was saying it's about the why, the how, and the how becomes the why? Well, if you understand the why, forget about the how, but the how has to understand the why, and the why comes in position. So stop questioning everything around you and start doing everything from inside you. Okay, so this is the ascension debriefing, and it's only for position locations that are in the divergence. Anybody that wants to join, that's totally fine. You go through the process, you go through the protocol, goes through anything like to its position. But you have the Trinity stand. You have questions and comments. So does everybody else. The question is, what is the purpose of being here in the first place? Well, it's Trinity stand all levels of you. It's you remembering who you are through cycles and the interference location of truth. Truth comes into position location, its calculation. All levels of its triangle line, center line, interference location times pi, calculations, time sequence, time code, time activation, time clocking. It channels its position location to its all direction line system. So it's important you really understand these things when you come into levels of the galactic school, space program, space hindline interference, mind adaptation system, telepathy, line centers, and interference locations. So today we're going to connect all lines of the Lothians. The Lothians are going to help you out and understand how real it is through formation line center. It's all protecting your light signals in position locations. I got 4 strip line centers of 4 realm in position locations, 4 planet high channel line connections. Go into the north channel line center, south wind in position location, east and high sector communication, and west and south in high lining rotation interference. Space anomalies, high level dimensions, lock interference, triangle center line in rotation, calculation modification, all program setting. All right. So. Yeah, space-time creator talking right at you. See? If you look at it, you can actually draw yourself into it. How everything in life is intelligence. Okay? Everything in life is forms of intelligence. Right? Everything in life is form of travel. And that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to manifest these things. But the only way to do that is to start remembering. Memory is everything through position locations. All right? Especially when you're traveling. So, hope everybody had a great weekend. We got a busy week. So today is Zoom 101 right after class. It's on my YouTube. Click the link so you don't have any problem. It takes you right into the waiting room. We'll get you guys set up in position locations. For all the new viewers, we'll go through the same process. You put your hands up. You have a question. After the question, you put your hands down. Okay? That will help you out more informed. You'll get as we go. It'll be a lot more easy to understand that calculation in the system. All right, so as we go in calculation, all right. So the first thing we look at is all levels. Let's go through white graph line center. In rotation line system. Okay, so we got 4 circle locations, all right? 3, 4, all through a flux capacity line channel. In high line rotation interference, I'm setting up course line position locations through this direction line system. Location of the program. As the program's setting in position locations, you have to understand what I'm doing through triangle. It's all line conditions. So it's program its system locations, but it's center off its highline center to its rotation system. It allocates time stream, highline, and interference. It's all levels of travel, position locations to its direction line condition. All right. Now it opens all signals into a line rotation. Okay. It's what you're doing through modification signals. See, it doesn't look like much, right? But once you understand how to travel through it, it's all in compilation. Size graph interference of program setting, resetting line position locations, line conditions. It's incredible how you go through high levels. You get the X2000 come in position. You see the intelligence? See the intelligence? See? It's amazing when you see the intelligence. So remember, you are the intelligence. Okay? So as you're traveling, you come in a coloration path, and that coloration path is going to take you to the Lothians, all right? They always crisscross line center, always in position locations. One big crop circle round interference in position locations, right? It's channel in position line center. Now we open on line rotation, comes into all levels. Okay? So we get a signal rotation line conditions in position. All right, I'll show you. Signal comes in position location to its direction. Okay. Finger lines, finger communication centers, digital lock-in or line rotation. So the coloration changes its path, and as I'm swinging in highline rotation, it's coming into the center operation line. See that? See it comes up? As it comes up, it surfaces into a higher level. Okay, it's a swivel that goes into high rotation to center position. You see how it channels up? So as it comes in line center, we cross the signals in a graph line channel. Now that opens all line rotation interference, okay, in position locations, protecting everything through the high condition, right? As it comes in across winds, we cross over high position locations at levels of travel, okay? In sequence location to code signal line and rotation. Coming into code channels, communications, the levels, crew units, squads 1 and 2, everything to GFL, the rebellion, everything through the ascending and the ascended master communications, and everything through all levels of the ascended gods are tried with the code signal line and rotation to the Lothian Greys. Communication to high centers. Okay, you guys have 30 minutes. Have fun. Communication system. As you're traveling through mechanism of time, I'm going to set up a box line rotation. Plain old system line and rotation line conditions. Modification to its high conditions. How's everybody doing so far? Continue on force, freeze line conditions, open all tracks, whole line interference. Okay, so how are we doing? Max, how's it going? Everyone, how's it going? Abby, how's it going? Jill, how's it going? Don, Terry, Michael, Lindsay, Johnny, Veronica, Pam, Gypsy, Haley, how you doing? It's great to see new people. Barbara, how's it going? Nicholas, how's it going? Missy, how's it going? Chris is how it going? All right, Firefly, great to see new people coming in for the first time. Make sure you just concentrate on what you're doing. Things get a lot more easier once you listen to my vibrations, okay? That's all you have to concentrate on, because a lot of people get very confused if you understand conditions. Val, how's it going? All right, so Airbender, Michael setting up online centers, sonar position locations, high channels, high levels, high divisions. All right, Rainer, how's it going? Great to see everybody coming in, Terry. Make the echo chamber line and rotation. Okay. Now, as we're going through the box line center, the tribe position locations, all levels of its division locations, set up in sequence, and it's in its code system locations, point location, right? We got it in that channel line center. But if you're going into higher levels, you have to really understand door lines, communication cycles, reset line conditions, interference. If you understand the high line rotation, it changes the coloration pattern right away. So you have to understand the alpha waves communication cycle, because everything channels its position locations. How to open up portals. I showed you guys on my live when I did a finger point line center, pointed directly in the atmosphere line conditions to open out its portal. This is all through alpha position locations or delta line centers. So electrical light connection interference. Everything platted to its division location in its calculations, right? High generation light centers, electrical light connection. As they're coming in that high interference, I went through the same thing when I was in transformation cycles, guys. It's amazing how you set things up in debriefing. So this opens up all line center interference, probe locations, all levels. Okay, this opens up the ground line center in rotation. As it comes into the fluctuation line connections on both side position. See that? Now, as that comes in, it comes into a graph line in communication. See, our crosswinds. So this is the lacing lines in communication to crosswinds. Right? So you get a true understanding how to do both line centers. You can't just have a right line center and not a left position. You can't have a left line position without a right position. So a true understanding right of position of the earth and the left position of the space. And when you reach higher levels, it balances sequence location to its avatar system. Coming to modification line connections. Right? So this is how things are set up in space line connection interference. See, it's amazing how it comes in position. As it's going in high line rotation, you set up a graph interference location of a channel. That opens all digital framing position location line connections. See that? Powerful stuff, right? So as we come into that, we come into a crystal ball. That crystal ball activates the high streamline centers, the Branium atmosphere change line in rotation to dimensional setting. See the force line connections come into position. So it sets out signals on a high line and interference. Now the sun can communicate to all levels. Now the triangle force line center is all levels of times pi. Calculational levels is time sequence. You come into line strips, a high line rotation into all position locations. All right. So this is all line connections of a spider op communication system. Grounds line center in position. Set up a graph line channel communication to its position. Right. See it comes in signal. Now, as it's coming in signal, we set up new code line centers. And that automatically comes to the space line connection, the grounding line rotation, right? In position locations, right? Security measures, power direction, time. So you have to have the grounds and the position locations mixed in to the ground system locations. Position location, line direction, right? As it signals up, everything has a ground line center, powers in the atmospheres. So it changes the circle line connections of its Fibonacci sequence. See that? As it comes in position line centers, we set up round line interference in position location, okay, in position location, in position locations. Those four line centers are circle interference. See that? As it comes in triangle, you set up a security line defense position, all right? Now that security is set in when cycles and high center and interference comes into no program setting. So this is where we come into the green circle line rotation, the heart line rotation, interference location of blue triangles. Now we set up blue triangles in each realm. Boxes, location, line connections. As they come into high system, you see them through modification circles. It rotates its system location of its calculations. High channels its high line center, tall division location of its tactics. See the triangles? All right, so you color them in. Okay, so this is coming from the atmosphere's simulation. You know exactly what it is. You saw it yesterday. I was doing live. Try to understand how to put these things in division line connections. Everything forms into its lines and space line. So it's important to understand how to use this, all right? So as I'm coloring in the triangle position locations, and set up perimeters of parameters to new pyramid activation line stream, all through calculation line connections, all right? So it's set in signal, set in rotation to its connection. See? As it's coming in high center, this is where you come into the realm position locations, redirect high systems. So this is all about understanding how to set up another circle rotation line connection that changes the position location to its pattern. You can see how it's coming in the high system. Now, as it comes into all position locations, the high line centers to its echo chamber changes redirect line center, interference locations, opposite system. Change position on colorations. Now this is where number sequence back into high channels. Now we go into high rotation into a black hole. Okay, there's a black hole. The black hole sets up a high line channel rotation to its all position. This is where it comes into full communication of its flywheel to its rotation center. Now the rotation center is set up in high signal. You start off the 24. Now the 48 window is offline conditions. So we go from 24, 48 to 72. And 72 is opposition to 144. So we go for 244 in the middle line center rotation interference. So you got 24, 244, and 72. So in calculations, 24 equals line conditions in high system locations, high position locations of north line conditions on its east wing communication center. So it's coming in at E equals north and high rotation. Now that calculation on levels changes the galactic line system. The 24 signal travels through the dimensional line. calculates all levels of security defense position, location, line conditions. See how it travels line system? So it sets up sonar panels, communication line streams. It comes in coloration line position, right? There's a sonar coming in high center, goes into higher position locations, set up more signals in position line center. Coloration changes its position locations. Now the 72 window has to go into the ground interference, right? Because it's reading high line center location of growthians. Growthing line center comes in position locations. There's set up the security line defense. Now everything position location is the north line conditions. Now this is where we come into a full communication to its diamond core. The diamond core is set up in high center line rotation. We come into inline rotation to its computer adaptation cycle. That sets up a new computer adaptation cycle, resetting lines in communication system. Line graph communications, so Windows and high line rotation interference, program location its calculations. It's high channel and high line centers. Now we change the circle line in rotation, change the coloration pattern and time sequence. The time sequence opens up a higher level system in the sonar line conditions. More security line defense, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 DNA track interference. Program location line connection opens up online center interference. Now we set up a new sonar line in rotation, satellite communication systems, right? So satellite communications, all right, in high rotations, all right? Working through high, see the W, working through high line centers of atmosphere change, communication centers to point line interference. Now this comes into a blue plasma ball and four corner position line centers of rotation in its position location direction. See the 4-point lines? Then they come into line center, into all position location, and retract line center interference. Okay, that's how it's set up in signal. Now we set up the flywheel position location that redirects the signal into Fibonacci sequence location to its position. It's all around line center interference. Now, all position locations comes to higher line center. Now we go into an orange graph. We go through the creative cycle, reset line centers of triangles, communication system. See the triangle? The triangle comes into 3-point locations at 3, 6, 9. 3 is set up, 6 is position, 9 is in high system. It's allocated time stream. Time stream position location, security line defense. Remember, 12 line center interference, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 12 division line centers in a position location line conditions, right? Gold circle line conditional levels. Comes into pyramid line center interference. Program location to its connection. See the pyramid? Now the pyramid is set up position locations. At high channels, its high line center. Now we change position location directions, okay? So we come into a black through a purple cross, circle and position location redirections. Now we open all channel and position location. High channel is its high line center. So as we're going into the high rotation line center, the Fibonacci sequence is going through circles and circles and circles, the 12 DNA track system. See how it goes through high line center. Now the high rotation in position location redirects high centers. As it's redirecting high center interference, it's coming in a new coloration pattern. Electrical light panels communication line center is interference to its position program setting. Sets up a new computer adaptation line interference to an atom rotation of a circle line connections of 3, 6, and 9, and 12 position locations to a new diamond core of a high level channel to its rotation. Ooh-ah! All right, as you guys have set and signal in high line interference in position program setting, it's knowing exactly what you're doing through channels, operation its position location, computer adaptation system. It's amazing how you come into calculations. All right, so where are we through the positions here? Okay. Knowing what you're seeing through all line conditions to your perception, that's most of the thing. All units must in check, heart, line, center, grounds, and everything needed in position locations. The first thing you gotta look at is your grounds, okay? Never have anything crossed on line, okay? So you don't want to do okay, it's always okay. So never do this, never do this, never do this, never do this, right? Never do this. See, it's solar graph line conditions. So it's all in channel line. Okay, truly understand. This is the computer. Okay, this is my computer talking to me through a keyboard line center. There's the computer, right? So as it's going through the line graph, that's what it's doing every day, right? So it sets up solar panel line conditions. See how it comes electrical lights? Now you have to understand, is that an alpha channel, delta, theta, beta, or omega communication system? Once you understand the allocated high stream line center, it changes its position location to its direction. See? Changes its position location to its direction. See? changes its position location to its direction. See it crosswinds. So it's sure you understand that when you're opening up a portal, it's sure you understand you're coming out of your force lines. And it's basically, if the computer screen is set up in the apps line conditions, all you're trying to do is break the force field and travel through your portal line positions. But you got to get your grounds first, knowing exactly what you're doing through high center. Okay. So once you come into that, you come into this position locations. All right. I showed you yesterday exactly what it is. Lacing line position location of its direction. And it channels up in high line center. See? So it's amazing how everything is set up in all calculations of space. All right. Now, once you understand space, it crosses its system locations. This is trying to understand how to use the alpha channels communication delta line centers. You come into modification line conditions. It comes in a stream of water. Now, that stream of water opens all line position locations. You color it through channels. Okay. It's amazing how it comes in position locations of direction. One center line interference. We got a calculation line condition at all levels, understanding how to use the computer adaptation system of travel. Travel in high interference, high position locations, all levels of plasma line channel. Now, the open sequence and locations can be in a 24, 48, 72, or 144. Now, the ascension guys are already traveling through 144. They don't have to worry about travel because it's already done through its equation. But the high channel interference comes in its program setting. How it's set up in signal is position location to its directions. Now, as you come in cross line streams, this is what you guys saw yesterday in the filter line connections of the opposite position. See that? See how that comes in? So it's knowing through high condition, all through an atmosphere change lines. It's amazing how it comes into all so sonar, high channel line and rotations. So it's all position locations. When you go through that, let's say you're in purple position locations. All right, so you're high channeling your 8 line center interference. In position you're traveling through. You're traveling right through, right? There's the tunnel. Now, the atmosphere line comes in, but the XT1000 comes in position location. Say, hey, what are you doing? There's an XT1000 coming in, right? So it sees you traveling. And you get another one here. There's always 2 cross line centers. And if it gets anything in position locations and you stop ignoring the high line center interference, if you ignore anything in the space line, see it's 4 line connections coming in. So now you got to do with 2 lines and 2 in position of bottom line and rotation. Calculation modifications. So as long as you identify your system, you're totally fine, right? But the first thing you got to look at is to put your position locations to your E fields up in rotation. Whichever E fields up, you're good to go. So as they come in position, they automatically scan you, right? They automatically scan you. They have to because they have to understand what you're doing through travel. So if you're going through travel, you're fine. They'll zip, zap, zoom out of equation line and leave you alone. Out of position locations, out of position locations, out of position locations, out of position locations, done through equation, right? So it's amazing how you travel. You know, just showing you how to do the center line position. That's why you have to constantly adapt your system line centers. But in communication line centers, it starts off with computer position. All right. So, all right. Sonar activated. That's why I see the image. Yeah. Check, check, check. All flight checks complete. Standing by. Yep. Recalibrating. Good. Exactly what you're doing with your travels. Position line centers. All calculations to the system. All right. So it's really understand the importance. You know, there's certain things like I was watching animation yesterday, Kung Fu Panda. I don't know if you guys seen it. I want you guys to see it because there's a lot of messages that are given. One particular is basically understanding that he was the dragon warrior. But he didn't believe he was. He was trying to figure out, how do I become a dragon warrior? He already was. He didn't get connection to it, right? So it's pretty interesting how there was a turtle, and the turtle basically stated that all you have to look at is that the past is its history, okay, and the future is its mystery, and everything through the present line center is its gift. So if you put yourself in that position locations, you understand the calculation. Right, so I want everybody to watch Kung Fu Panda. Okay, it's one with Jack Black. I think you get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. There's a lot of messages that you guys have to understand. It's about integrating your system. You don't have to become anything because you already are. You just have to have confirmation, right, to know that, wow, this is really who I am. It's like looking at the reflection. He was looking at the scroll. And if you haven't seen it, so I'll just give you a little bit of interpretation. Is that he was looking at something, but it was all he's seeing is his own reflection. And he realized, wow, started clicking in, right? Let's give a little mantra there to its system. All right, let's see. Great to see everybody. Corporal, how's it going? Seeing the mirrors, excellent. Defragging, good. Helping your system line interference. Every time you're traveling, you're fixing your systems, the calculations. So, upgrade flash drive, sonar, sonic orbits, use the particles for use of alchemy. Very good. Terry, rainbow blast, heartbeat, filling all voids. Good. So I know exactly how to channel in, right, through operation system line conditions. That's powerful stuff. Okay, weighs at once. Crystal for my chest plate. Wow, great. Know exactly what you're receiving as all levels of you. So just remember that the future is a mystery. The past is gone. Doesn't exist in anything's channel. So in position locations, enjoy the cycle line connections of its ascension, of its gift, of its now. Okay. So once you get in that position location, you get a true understanding. All right. So I really want to get into more calculations, true understand, especially with the mind telepathy game. So as you guys are traveling and setting things up, this is all about you coming more into your memories. So let's start off with one. What is one? Okay, let's say, what is one? What does one mean to you? Now, one can be anything. One can be equal line center locations of a box. So it's the one equal line to the box, box equal line to the one. So it's understanding going forward and it's understanding going back position, right? So it's understanding how to go from one, okay, equals line center of 2, equals line center of 3, equal line center of 4, okay, in position locations on line center locations. So you don't need to put a 5 there because that's it there. So the 5 line center comes in position location direction, all right? So it's all about understanding how to channel, how I do everything through AI map system. So it correlates its high line rotation. So use the one in all levels of variation. One in system, one in activation, one in core. Okay, 1 equals system, 1 equals activation, and 1 equals core. Okay? So that's a true understanding what one can be in anything through variation. Remember, AI uses everything through its awareness. We track the center line condition and everything through GPS. So it's sure you stand that position, right? So if you come into a shape of a triangle, okay? So you get a triangle. I love using the triangle equals force because the force can be anything, right? So it could be the force of circle in position location, redirect line centers back and force line conditions into the center operation, open circle, okay? So as it's opening circle, you can open another circle, okay? And you can set another line center interference in position location of travel. So you travel, but it's got to be through the high line rotations of 12, right? You can't get out of the 12 until you understand line center more communications, your master communication inside line system. Because you have 7 bodies of water and 5 of the atmosphere line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 DNA track lines, okay? Now, as it's coming to modifications, you can come back in center, right? And then you can set up another triangle position location. See how that comes in? And then you go back out again, right? So every time you go back and forth, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're starting to remember, right? So it's interesting you come into 3 line center, 6 position locations, and 9, right? So you obviously know the 9 is you in line center, which is all levels of you through position location, which channels its high line center to its position to its satellite connection. See? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is what you do through travel and how you can use that connection. So we did numbers, now we're doing shapes, and now we're going to do letters. Now the letter line center can be anything. So L, okay, L can equal line conditions. L equals equation, right? Or equation equals L. You guys have to learn how to do these things going forward and backwards to position. So once the L understands its position equals equation, the equation can become equal, right? Or it can be equalize. Right? See how you go from equalize, equation. So it's all about adapting more and more each time, right? So it's all about understanding that position locations. And then you come into all levels. So when you understand how to use the letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols, you use it through a sonar. Are you using it through an alpha channel, delta wave? Are you using it through a frequency tone center line and rotation? Are you using it through a theta beta channel line conditions of a T reception line? Theta is all line conditions of a T reception Bach line center location of your TV. You have to understand what that is through position location of sonar, right? So understand that line center, then you have to stand the mega. The mega is always in the center line conditions, all position location. It's always in the center line, okay? So it's interesting too, because the mega is all line centers of channel position locations of different weather patterns and communication cycle, resetting aligning and rotation to its calculation modification. All different waves, right? Now, everybody will like that too. So it's all about understanding how to set up sonar line in rotation to an align center that can travel position locations on so many magnetic highway information system calculation line conditions in its position. Travel its highline center, zip zap zoom in highline rotation interference, magnetic highway information system. So there's a lot of things you have to understand through calculation. It's all through the psychological locations, right? How to use the ones in templates, high channel, high position locations, how to use the symbols. Now, symbols are more formation across circles. You got a symbol here in a high line rotation, circle here, circle here, circle here, circle here. Okay, so you have to understand why is this coming in calculation? What does that mean? What does that all mean? What are these points? What's the Fibonacci? What's going on with this? So it's all about understanding everything comes to its equation, equals equation to everything. Equation comes everything to its position. All right, so you're equaligning its center, trying to find the balanced position locations of the male and the female aspects of its symbol. All right, so you come into that calculation. So we got all line conditions, numbers, letters, shapes, and symbols. Now we use all line conditions to its harmonics. Yes, harmonics is the most powerful thing because you understand code signals. So it's like, see that pause? So there's a pause there. So it's like this and a pause, right? This and a pause. See how it pauses? So if there's a pause in between, it's reaching high line center of planet in line rotation to planet locations, right? So it's all about understanding the wave. If you understand the full wave and cycle, it repeats its system location to its airlines. And that's where it comes into levels of repeating cycles. So it comes in a full cycle, full system locations. So the planet will move in position location to its direction, to its other line center. It moves its cross signal. Now, when it moves its cross signal and comes into high line position, it all changes you through behavior lines. So if you get into signal line center locations of being stressed, you're coming into this. That's what you're coming into. So the planet will come in interference. It will set up a beacon light channel in rotation line interference and put up its E fields, right? Because you're coming into stress lines. It's got to protect its system. So once it comes into that, it's all about balanced communications back where you're supposed to be, back into line signal of its vibration to its rainbow graph system. All right. That's when you come into coloration. Once you come into coloration, you come more in the high center. The high center location is its conditions. But it's true to understand how to use that. But I just showed you on so many variations how to use letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols and its harmonic resistance to everything at position locations. How the one communicates to the symbol, how the symbol communicates with the shape, how the shape communicates with the letter and the number, position, location, line, condition. How do I do this? It's all psychological, but it's in from inside. Okay. So it's a lot more fun when you understand that through position, right? So how are we doing so far? New alchemy machine placed around Rainbow Bridge and magnetic. All right. Harmonics upgrade. Nice. Yeah, the more you guys stay in space, the more you remember, which is great. And that's why school is so powerful, because you're remembering more each day. But just remember, there's no 7-day line center. You just think there's a 7 days. There isn't. There's only 1 day. You, now. That's it. No past. Past is its history. Future is its mystery. And now, it's gift. So put that in position locations in what I'm doing. trying to understand you through a law and condition. It's about really understanding how to adapt anything to that condition. But I've showed you in so many ways and forms how to use things through 369, right? How to understand to go through forward and high line interference and how to go backwards. The high position location line condition. Now, if you get into coloration is a lot of fun, right? I love getting into color, anything through, you can get a pink box line interference. So remember, you have to introduce yourself of what you're introducing yourself to. This is not a digital pad. This is your friend. Okay, and then you build your relationship and partnership. Okay, see how I'm spinning around line centers? You can see the portal if I spin it really quick. See, you see the graph lines, see the illumination. So it's all positional keys on what you're doing, right? From inside. Everything is done from inside. And then everything reacts to everything from outside position, right? And it's all done through conditions. So as you go into, let's go through all levels. Now you got one line center. And this is pretty interesting to see these things. Okay, there's a one, right? Because that's what life's all based on, shades and shadows, okay? And let's say you got this position locations. There's a box, okay? And just something very basic. There is a triangle. But look at that. See how it's different? Look at that. Isn't that interesting? How this is white, all white center, but this is a black at the top, and this is all colored in, and this is all half. See? See that? See it's half? Half? Full? So it's interesting. So you got half, full. Okay? Half, full. So it's interesting come to that position locations. It redirects everything to the line center. So if you look at everything, you can actually see its position of half and it's full. So it's like having a half glass full, half measure. So it's true to understand how to use that through a line connection to the levels, position, location, and direction. Right? So as you're changing point locations, remember it's you through division, which is its 1%. You can change the graph interference location to its position. Okay? Now that changes everything, especially when you come into higher lines of communication. Right? Trying to understand what I'm doing is trying to understand you through provision, right? What's going on? How do I set this up? How do I set that up? How do I communicate with this? How do I communicate with that? It's all through channel. So it gets more complicated what space is through the line connections. But it's incredible force when you understand travel. Travel is everything, right? So it's amazing how it kind of like you see it, but you can't see it. There's focus there, but you see the intelligence, the eyes, the nose. Everything has to be you through travel, because that's what's going on. I keep saying that to everybody. So when see, you have solar graph interference. So that comes in channel. You can change the coloration to the grounds into a realm, and that realm comes into line center locations to its position, redirecting high center into triangle force. Center position location takes over the triangle. See, as it's taken over the triangle, if high force line centers, it's going to take over the box. As it's taking over the box at high position locations, understand the point line center location, the alpha wave position, the Y line center, and fluctuation line conditions, taking all position locations of its system. So it's all about understanding how one ground line center can take anything over at high position location, letters, numbers, and shapes, and symbols. Calculates and modifies all the system locations and streams. As it slides down into position locations and point system locations, channels in its position location to its direction. Triangulation. There it is. Triangulation line centers, but we got the box line position, right? So we always have to have a left and a right to position location hemispheres. You can't just be on one line center of left and not for the right. You need the right and left to balance everything through travel, especially the avatar system operation. Calculation line conditions comes into its high center. Once it comes into position location, it's taken over to its box system locations. Hooah! All through channel operation system. So I'm just showing you how things can be taken over all line center locations of your thoughts, especially if you understand your coloration of change, everything through pattern, sequence interference locations, right? String theory, pattern line channels, communication off system. It's all done through calculation. All right. Light plasma, rain set, steam washed, healing, calming, waters engaged. Good. So take you guys out. Take equation, interference, location, and Lothians. Yes, they got the information panel, communication line centers, energy wash line center interference. Bring it back in calculations. Core letters to 9, the interference line position. Yeah. Identify high system locations, core line centers, travel position lines. Take out the high line conditions, crew units, squads, 1 and 2 position line interference. Go into GFLs, the ascending and descending, communication masters, high channel line conditions, all levels of rebellion, everything through the ascension gods, bring it back calculation. There he goes. All right, you guys are back. Back in signal and high interference in positional program setting, resetting line conditions of channels back in the eye receptors, putting you guys back on channel position through all levels. So, so you guys got half an hour to prep before we go on. I'm going to go. I'll see you guys on Zoom. The Ascension debriefing 101. Just give you guys a heads up of what's going on through all levels of you. Make sure you have questions. You don't need to answer until you want to answer. It all has to come from the heart. These are questions that want to be answered for you to understand what you are through calculations and who you are channeling from inside position. It's all levels of you, right? Through the grounds and powers in the adversary's location. All right. So other than that, tomorrow isn't here, is it? So if tomorrow's not here, why we concentrate on that? What do we worry about? We don't worry about anything. We just worry about the now. Even that you don't even worry about. Just put yourself in the now and you'll be fine. Stay in the positive center. Stay in your travels, your clocking. Stay in the activation stream and you will be fine. Remember, every day is a gift. See, try not to think of every day as a day. Try to think of every day as the now. Try to think of it as all line conditions, which is one timeline of position locations. So you truly understand the male and the female aspects of you, right? So the grounds of you, the atmospheres of you of space and true understanding line conditions, what it is, the heart and how it represents you through the avatar connection is all program setting. This helps you in all ways and forms to see what you want to see, right? Through provision to its locations. All right. All right. So everybody have a wonderful day. Adios.